So it's a couple minutes after. Saren, do you think it would be okay to go ahead?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so thank you, Easy Breathe team members. As you all might know, this is open enrollment time for the next plan year. Your next plan year begins on August 1st. So at this time, your company allows you to go in and change or modify your benefits as needed, add or delete a spouse, add or delete a dependent, of course, make any changes to your plans. If you do have a qualifying event and you lose outside coverage, for example, and you wanted to come into the Easy Breathe plans, you need to do that promptly within 30 days. There is a time limitation to do it outside of open enrollment, but at this time you can make any changes you want without restriction because it is open enrollment for the upcoming plan year. There's a lot of new information this year. We apologize for that, but at the same time, we're very grateful for it. Your company has allowed us to do some redesign of your package a little bit and bring in some more competitive dental plans, vision plans, new critical illness options, new accident options. So you have kind of a whole new menu of available plans to look at when you go into your online portal. And shortly after the meeting today, my brother is going to be sending everyone an invitation to begin open enrollment. And if you can use that link in the email, it'll take you directly to your EASE online portal, which of course contains already all of your existing information. If you haven't been in the portal before, for whatever reason, all of your data and plan choices are stored in the EASE portal online. It's available to you 24 hours a day, of course, at any time. It is helpful if you ever want to review your policies, and it's not during open enrollment. It'll show you everything you enrolled in, your payroll deductions, plan summaries, and all of that. So it's a very handy tool to have, and we hope you utilize it. I want to give you an overview of what we talk about with employees each year at open enrollment. Your medical plans are changing, but only in a very minor way. And the reason they change is because under the Affordable Care Act, the insurance companies are allowed to change your copay and out-of-pocket maximums in a very small way each year when the plan renews. So you might see your plan deductible, for example, go up by $50 or $100. You might see an out-of-pocket maximum go up by, again, $50 or $100. And additionally, of course, on the medical plans in particular, the premium rates increase, although in a small way, again, from year to year. So we think it's very important you review all of your plan options from year to year. We want you to get the very best value. And typically what we talk about with employees is, if you look at last year's medical plan utilization and you figure out how many times you actually went to the doctor, any prescriptions you took, if you have an upcoming surgery, we want you to try to cater your plan to meet the needs that you're looking for. So rather than just picking the highest cost plan available, we hope that you customize the plan as best for yourself and your family. Your employer is incredibly generous. They give everyone a great stipend to utilize, but at the same time, we want to make sure you get the best value from your plan. So please do review all the medical plan options. One of the things you're going to see in the email that you get from my brother shortly after the webinar is there'll be a link and information where you can request a private consultation with Jonathan or myself. I'm Chuck. And during that consultation, we can help you individually go through any questions you may have about the medical plan, dental, vision, whatever it may be. The meetings typically are about 15 minutes, maximum 20 minutes in length, but we have found them to be quite helpful. A lot of us become a little bit disconnected because of the pandemic, of course, and the personalized consultation has afforded us a way to kind of better connect with everyone on an individual one-on-one basis. The days when we could come out and shake everyone's hand and say hello, unfortunately, have long passed, so we can no longer do that, but we hope you take advantage. Anything you wanted to add, Jonathan?
Well, I think that, like we were kind of saying, there are a lot of plans to look at, and I think that most of you might say, okay, am I going to go with the similar plan? But With Anthem, they actually happen to change the plans from year to year, a slight bit. You know, you might want to look at the copays, you might want to look at the deductible, you might want to look at the out of pocket. These are things that are always in flux from year to year. For that reason, you might not know, hey, which direction I'm going to go. And if you are going to reach out to us, those are some of the things that I think we can help you narrow down. Why would you want to go on this plan? Why would you want to use this PPO versus another PPO? Or you see two HMOs that look remotely alike, but are they actually alike? Um, I know that it might seem daunting that there are a lot of HMO and PPO plans out there, right? Or different styles of plans that are included in the network, right? But this is done to give you flexibility. You know, whatever one of your coworkers is doing doesn't really have to affect you. So just know that whatever plan you choose, it doesn't matter what anybody else chooses. The rates aren't going to change. These are the rates that are going to be into the system for the next year. So this is your opportunity to do it. Once this opportunity passes after open enrollment, there isn't going to be another opportunity to change your plan. So that's why it's super important to get on this now, right? If you wait till September and you're like, oh, I really wanted to change my plan, but I never did it, it's not really us. I would change the plan if we could. It's the insurance carriers that have only given us this opportunity to allow you to go in and make these changes. So I want to make sure that everybody is happy for the next year. And there may be things that you are thinking about, but you didn't think were a big deal. Like maybe you're going to get an operation on your knee or your shoulder, or maybe it's not an operation at all. You're having a baby. These are all questions that I think are coming up. I constantly get barraged with these, every day, and people are trying to figure out which is the best plan for one of these, things that they're going to do for the next year. So take advantage of it. This is your opportunity. They don't care what's going on with you medically, so you can go to whatever plan you want to, and you're not going to have to worry about them denying you. So definitely take advantage. Now, I will say one other thing about a qualifying event. If you do get married later on in the year, right, or you do have a baby, those are ways that you can, add somebody onto your plan, but you cannot change the plan that you're on. So that's why having your plan and the one that you want is so important right now.
Thank you. That's right. So with that, I think what I'd like to do is the medical plans, as you know, you have an incredible menu. I think there's probably 30 different plan options. We've tried to load you up with everything available because our belief is that you are better customizing the best plan for yourself and family than we are. And we feel like we needed to give you every plan option available. So with that, that's going to be in your portal. What's happening new this year, which is a real upgrade and an opportunity, is we've been able to negotiate a better opportunity on the dental and vision plans than you had previously. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up on the screen, bear with me a moment. Wonder how I can do this. Screen one, share, and I'm going to put the dental plan up here. Bear with me a moment for it to open up. Okay, so as a lot of you might know, we had some very high quality dental plans from Guardian Insurance. They've been a great provider. One of the comments we got back from a couple of the participants was that they would like to see if we could offer a plan with a higher yearly benefit. So one of the things we did is we went out and we found you the identical plan design, but at the same time, a higher benefit. So if you see here highlighted in yellow, you see that the old Guardian plan that we're replacing had a $1,500 annual benefit maximum, and reimbursements for an out-of-network dentist were based upon a very high 90th UCR schedule. So you're getting very high reimbursements even if you went out of network. Principal has the same identical plan, but they will give you a $2,000 yearly reimbursement maximum at a couple dollars less than the Guardian plan. So we thought it was very important for you to know that we brought that in for this year. In addition, we have a new style of plan that's available called an EPO plan. An EPO plan utilizes a PPO network from Principal, but it does not allow out-of-network benefits. The real benefit of this plan is that if you'll see here in a moment, I'm going to make this a little bit smaller, that the cost for the EPO plan are only $15.97 per month, which is even, I think, a couple pennies less than what you were paying on your old HMO plan from Guardian. So for anyone of you who doesn't mind going to an in-network PPO style dentist, but wants a PPO reimbursement rather than the HMO plan, this is an incredible opportunity to go on a plan at a very low cost that will provide you with a $2,000 a year reimbursement. The only hiccup, again, just to reiterate, is that you need to go to an in-network provider with Principal. So for anyone who's looking at that, the network is called First Dental Network. Pardon me, First Health, I believe. First Health Dental Network. It's on the Principal website. We can guide anyone through it. We can look for your current dentist to see if they're in the network. We can help you do a search. But the main benefit of it is that you're going to get a PPO reimbursement rather than your low-cost HMO, which in truth really provided a discount on the cost for seeing the dentist, but did not provide any actual reimbursement. The one other upgrade, and we were able to secure this just today, funny enough, was that in your old Guardian plan under your PPO, you did not have any orthodontia coverage. So what they've done for us, if they've agreed to allow a $1,000 reimbursement for orthodontia coverage for you and or your children. So for anyone who needs orthodontic coverage for yourself or a child, this is a great way. They'll reimburse you up to $1,000. I realize that $1,000 doesn't cover enough of the orthodontic treatment, but of course it's better to get the $1,000 than the previous plan where there was no benefit available. So we think that's a great enhancement. You'll see that really quickly. Your Guardian premiums were starting at around $68, whereas the new Principal PPO plan is around $66. We realize that's not a big difference, but our main focus here was to bring you in a better benefit plan with higher benefits at the same or lower cost. If anyone has a question about this, we encourage you again to please set up that consultation with Jonathan or myself. I think you're going to be very happy with the details of the plan if you have the time to review it. But please don't forget, this will be replacing your Guardian plan effective 8/1. For anyone who was previously on the Guardian PPO plan, if you had what we call rollover benefits, and that's where Guardian rolled over a portion of your unused benefit into a pool for you to utilize in the future, all of your rollover benefits will be applied over to the Principal plan. You will not lose them. They will continue your rollover benefits. And so what we can do, again, for anyone who wants to go through a consultation, we could actually let you know if you had any rollover PPO benefits from Guardian as well. Just as a quick refresher, the rollover plan works as this. If you spend less than a certain specified amount and at least go for one cleaning or service at the dentist, they roll over a portion of your unused benefits to the next plan year. I think with Principal, they roll over $800. So that's pretty good. That would mean in addition to the $2,000 benefit that you get every year, there'd be an additional money for you to utilize if you ever had a crown or a root canal or things that cost quite a bit of money that went in excess of the $2,000 yearly benefit. Is there anything else you wanted to add on that, Jonathan?
I think the question that's going to come up this year, because we're introducing a plan that's called an EPO versus a PPO or POS, as you'll notice it in the system, is versus the Guardian HMO plan. A lot of the employees are probably going to say, hey, I went on the HMO and I love that I had all of these copays and that was all great, but every time I went to the dentist under the HMO, maybe they charged me more than what it said in the copay schedule. Now, so when you're trying to say, hey, should I go on the Guardian HMO again this year, or should I use the Principal EPO plan because they're similar priced? Just remember that you're getting away from some of what I consider to be the flaws of the HMO plan by going on the Principal EPO plan. And what's really happening there is under the HMO, you have to go to your HMO provider for all your care, just like an HMO doctor under the medical. But when you flip over to the Principal EPO plan, it's actually a PPO plan. So as long as you're utilizing the dentist in that particular network, because it's a slightly different network than the POS plan, right? The other PPO plan that's being provided. Once you do that, you're not being stuck in the same way. The other thing is it doesn't work off of copays. It actually works like a traditional, PPO plan. So some of the stuff that goes on with the HMO is where you go in for a filling and they say, well, you want a white filling. And they say, well, the silver is the only thing covered, and they want to charge you extra to change the material, right? Under the EPO plan, they're just going to have all of those things set up in their contract with the dentist. And so that's not something you or I can even see. But when you go in to see this principal dentist under the EPO, you're just going to want to ask them for a treatment plan. And that's just if you actually have a lot of work. If you're going in for one filling, they should probably be able to tell you very quickly what that's going to cost you. But let's say that they say, oh, we think there's about $1,000 worth of work, get a treatment plan, right? And then you can figure out how things are going to work out for you. But I can honestly tell you under the Guardian HMO, there's probably about 5,000 HMO dentists. Under the principal EPO, there's probably a good 7,500 dentists, in network. And then under the principal POS, which is the largest network, there's probably about 16, 17,000 dentists in the state of California. So you're definitely going to find people that are close to you and in your area under all of these plans. But once again, this is your only opportunity to make a choice for this year. And so it's not fun to get stuck in a plan and be unhappy with it, all year. Remember that even if you might be paying a little bit extra for whatever plan you want to go on this year, it's going to come out of your check pre-tax, right? So whether we're talking about medical plan or we're talking about dental or vision, these items are coming out of your check pre-tax. There are some other ancillary items that come out after tax, but these core benefits, dental, vision, medical, they're all going to come out of your check pre-tax once you've used up your benefit allowance.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, good reminder. Okay, the next plan I'm going to talk about for a brief moment is going to be the new vision plan through Principal. The plan is really interesting in that it pretty much is duplicating the plan you had last year. It utilizes the same VSP network. So again, you had the identical providers in this that you had last year. The main difference is that this plan is less expensive, and they give you a bit higher frame allowance when you go in for your frames. So your plan is what we call a 12-12-12 plan. What that means is that you get an exam, you get lenses or contacts and frames once each year. It's a $10 copay to get an exam, $25 for materials. So whether you're getting single vision, bifocal, trifocal, lenticular, right? All of those are going to be covered at 100% up to the allowance when you're in network. For frames, last year under Guardian, they gave you $120 frame allowance. This year, it's going to go up just a little bit to $130. Other than that, the plan is basically identical to last year's plan. But when you see here at the bottom, you're going to see last year, your VSP plan was $16.46. By moving it over to Principal, it's going to go down to $10.20. I realize that may not be a tremendous amount of money for everybody, but we're trying to ensure that you get the best value overall. Okay, the percentage savings are actually quite large if you look at that. But the main thing we're trying to do is just make sure that the insurance company has a fair premium, but is not charging more than they need to for the risk. So again, it's going to utilize the same members of the same optometrist network. None of that's going to change at all, but the plan's going to be basically identical in form to last year's plan. Anything else you wanted to add about the VSP plan, Jonathan?
No, obviously the savings are huge here. So if you didn't do vision before, this is a good year to do it. The one thing that seems to come up from year to year is, well, what if I just need the vision exam? What I could tell you about that is it seems like if you're just going to get the exam, you're probably trading money with the provider that you're going to. But remember, you're getting a discount, right? A deep discount because there's a contract, right, with the VSP provider when you use the vision plan. Anytime that you go to see somebody privately, they can charge you whatever they want. And even though they love you because you'll give them cash, right, or pay them up front, right? A lot of these plans have benefits because these fees have already been negotiated for you. So maybe you just need an exam, maybe you need more than that. I can tell you that after working remotely in the pandemic, which is something that we haven't done for almost 20 years, I can tell that my eyesight is changing. And so I think I'm like right there. I think this could be the year that I actually need glasses. So I might be in the optometrist's office and getting another pair for myself or something.
Well, look, as we all, work remotely these days, or many of us do, we spend a vast amount of our time on computers or things like that. I think it's affecting all of our eyes at least a little bit. So now that the VSP plan has come down in cost, it's at least something that you should consider, of course, at least if you get that exam, once a year, we feel it'll be worthwhile. One of the other upgrades that your company has done for this year is they provide you with a company paid short-term disability plan. Now, for those of you who are in California, we know we have a couple of employees outside, but for those of you in California, this plan will integrate or go together with state disability to ensure a benefit of 70% of your weekly earnings up to a maximum of $1,500 for 1 year. So remember, here in California, your benefits go for a full year. They go for 365 days. So this plan will mirror that. The base amount of your coverage will come from the state of California, and you'll get a supplemental amount from Principal Financial to ensure that you get 70% of your earnings. So for any of you who've had a short-term disability in the past, this is a wonderful benefit paid 100% by your employer, right? So again, they're very generous. For any of you working outside California, if you do have a governmental style benefit in your state, this would integrate with that government style benefit, because people can work anywhere these days, and different states have different plans like California State Disability. But again, you'll have the same guarantee to receive at least 70% of your earnings to a maximum of $1,500 a week in short-term disability benefits. All right. One of the new plans that we brought in for this plan year, over and above the accident and critical illness, is a new voluntary long-term disability plan. So for anyone who's ever had a family member who's had a long-term disability, or they have a concern about it, it's an incredibly low cost to ensure that were you to become disabled, this could replace your income from Easy Breathe, right? So that you wouldn't have to worry about making the car payment or the house payment or whatever it may be. So when you're in your portal this year, please be sure to take a look at the disability plan options. Please make sure that you look at the new accident and critical illness plan. We think those will be very beneficial for you to consider. I think that you'll be very happy when you look at your full package as to how many options you have. Your company is very interested in making sure that you're adequately covered across the board. And I think between the medical, dental, vision, life insurance availability, disability coverage, and all the other benefits, you have a very well-rounded and complete package. Jonathan, was there anything else you want to talk about with regard to disability?
The only thing that I can think of that we didn't mention is that when we're talking about short-term or long-term disability, remember these are benefits that you can only get as the employee. You can't get these as a dependent somewhere else. So this is one of the, I think these are two of the most important benefits that you can get, just because these, are covering your paycheck. They normally call these paycheck protection. So if you're unable to work, because of these reasons, these issues, right? This is the only thing that's going to cover you, be able to help you, make the mortgage payment. So long-term disability isn't something that we had in the equation in the past year. So that's going to be a big part, I think, of what everybody should look at, this year. Because once again, yes, you could buy it privately on your own, but this isn't something that you can get as a dependent from somebody else. And if you did try and buy it on your own, it would be super expensive. There is a massive discount for buying it through your employer, right? And you're getting coverage, right? That's going to cover you in your own occupation for the first 2 years for the long-term disability, right? And then after that, if this disability just never goes away, right? And that's the way that a doctor has defined it for you. You could be looking at them paying you until retirement age. So long-term disability is definitely a bigger deal than I think a lot of people want to talk about. I think it is the one of the most fundamental benefits that everybody should sign up for before some of the other benefits that are out there.
And you guys, again, are quite fortunate, because your company is so generous in giving everyone the stipend that they do. The small amount of premium it would take to enroll in, like, for example, the voluntary long-term disability plan. I'm just going to say if the premium was $10 or $20, it's a very small price to pay, like Jonathan's saying, to get paycheck protection for yourself. To think about having to have an income set up for you for the next 2 or 3 years, or God forbid, forever, until you retire. You would need a lot of money in the bank to cover that. So at least this will help you in getting a very low cost option to protect yourself. God forbid something should happen. Okay, well, with that, Saren, are we okay on time?
I think so. We still have time. Is there anything that you wanted us to know? So far, everything is very, very helpful. I'm sure after we distributed the live recording, maybe next live webinar, we'll have a few people come in because they may have some additional questions they want to ask.
We hope so. What we try to do is, we realize there's so many medical plans. We didn't want to take too much time on the webinar. Our most important focus is to make sure that people realize the plans are really customizable for what's best for themselves and their family. And so we'd love to spend some time with them, if they have time for a consultation to do that, or if they do it privately with their spouse or partner, that's great. We just want to make sure they understand that they have that opportunity to make their change each year without bogging everyone down with, going through a lot of different benefit summaries, because there's far too numerous a plan to really go through them all.
This is super helpful. The one question I have is, when do you think the eCentral portal is going to be available to everybody for them to go in and take a look after they probably listen to this recorded webinar?
So it's actually already ready to go. There's an adjustment that we have to make because we had to adjust the premium for one of the life insurance products because it didn't come through correctly. So we're making that adjustment right now. Once that's done, though, the email goes directly out to each participant that's already been loaded into the portal. And if they already have their stuff saved, they'll just be able to log in and it'll say, start open enrollment. If it doesn't say start open enrollment, something's not right there. You probably should reach out to us, but it will show up directly to their email inbox. Most of the time our stuff is whitelisted so that it doesn't end up in junk mail, but everybody should just be advised to check your junk mail just in case. I don't know why email servers don't like information from insurance professionals, but maybe they just don't like us. I don't know, but everybody will get the one that's for them. Somebody else cannot log into somebody else's portal. It doesn't work that way. All of your information is in there and protected and encrypted. And in addition to that, should also be helpful in the fact that you don't have to re-put in your information. If your address and everything is still the same, no problem. But if you have had an update to your address, you can make that change now as well. And then that'll get forwarded on to the insurance carriers so they know where to, ship out ID cards or just have that record on file. So when you call them, they can match everything up.
So I think, what do you think? Within a couple hours, it'll go out to everyone, Jonathan?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's because I feel like this is the gift you have to give people for the weekend.
And then
wonderful.
The other thing I did want to mention is that I know that your team and you were working on giving us an update on everyone's income. I just want to caution everyone, if your income isn't right immediately when you get into the portal today, it will be updated within 24 to 48 hours. We're waiting for some updates from the employer. We just want to make sure that we get everyone's income correctly right? So we needed to get it updated as we do once a year. So please bear with us while we update your income. It could affect, your coverage by $5 or $10 or something like that, but please be aware we will be doing that over the next, day or so.
Yeah, and the one thing that I will also say is important after open enrollment is over, we really didn't talk about a closing date, for when we're going to do this. So we should maybe decide on what the last day for people to actually go into the portal, because remember we are enrolling in some new plans, so that stuff will take effect as of August 1st. So we definitely have to get that, in time so we can get that over to the new carrier. But the last thing that's the most important thing is just take a look at your paycheck, the first or second week in August, and just make sure that everything looks correct to you, because it's far easier for us to make corrections if something's wrong or something just doesn't look right, for us to do all of that, within, that first month that things are going on.
No, that's a great
Thank you
thought.
so much. Yeah, I definitely think if you wanted to put a closing date for us, we're going to have everybody making sure they complete their enrollment by that date. I was thinking about July the 28th. Is that too late, or?
It is only in one regard. So like Jonathan was mentioning, normally we could give everyone, like you said, go to the 28th and that wouldn't be an issue. The issue this year is because we're bringing in new plans from Principal. We need time for them to go through the file that we send over to them with everyone's enrollment, to have that go through a quick underwriting, and then for them to issue ID cards. So if it would be possible, we can take a straggler if someone's out of town or something, they're not available, whatever, that's okay. But if we can get everything done by, I think we looked at the 18th, that would be really tremendous for us, because it would give us a couple days to get it into the carrier and to have them working on getting those new ID cards issued for everyone. Our only concern, and of course, we wouldn't leave anyone, in the lurch, but our concern is, what if someone needed help with regard to their new dental plan or vision plan right on the 1st of August, right? And they weren't yet in the system at Principal. So if we wait too long, it kind of makes it a little bit tough to get them into the system at the insurance company.
Okay, understand. How about we tell everybody, just use it tentatively, the closing date, July the 18th. If they have anything they have to make change after that, they are going to probably reach out to you and Jonathan, just to.
That would be great. That would be wonderful. We can always make adjustments like Jonathan was mentioning. Obviously, the more communication, the better. We don't want anyone locked into something that's either incorrect or inappropriate. To be frank with you, even into July, if people, have changed their mind about something or something occurs, we want to know about them. We just want everyone to be happy, with what they've chosen for the next year. So that's our goal. But at the same time, we don't want to hold everyone up from getting their ID card. So the 18th would be wonderful. That would be great for us.
Great. Internally, we are going to, Jessica has been very, very great to notifying all the employees. I think she's going to do that this year as well. Just tell employee when the open enrollment is going to open to everybody, because you noticed, Chuck, a lot of our email, we use a personal email. A lot of time we don't check it until after hours, or sometimes we overlook things. So
Right.
Internally, we tend to give an employee a heads up. Just tell them, hey, check your personal email for the open enrollment link, and we'll tell them it's going to be available this weekend for sure by the end of today. And then we're going to have a tentative closing date of the open enrollment by the July 18th. And we're going to distribute the link to this webinar. If they have anything, if they wanted to join another live webinar, they can join Wednesday, next Wednesday, 1:30 p.m. one.
That's wonderful. We really appreciate it. That's terrific.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Jessica, do you have any questions?
No, I don't. Thank you so much for providing the webinar and all the information about the new plans. Thank you.
It's really our pleasure.
Thank you.
We think everyone will be very happy. We do hope they'll take a brief look at the webinar, but at the same time, if they don't have time, we would love it if they would just take a couple minutes with us privately to talk about any questions or concerns they have.
Thank you so
Great.
much.
That is very helpful. Yes, thank you.
All right, I thank you all very much. We appreciate it. Have a wonderful weekend. Look for your email, of course, from the portal today, a little bit later. And of course, if there's anything, please reach out.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay,
Have a nice
bye-bye.
weekend, everyone.
Have a good weekend.
Thanks, bye-bye.
Bye.